What's going on, y'all? Today we got Jokic is winning the MVP because he is white and stat padding. This video is about foot the line. Let's get into
So
it.
apparently Jokic is stat padding, and the only reason why he's leading in the MVP race is because he's white. I can't believe I had to make this video, but here we go.
Right, when we talk about Joel Embiid, right, we disrespect him because, yes, he's right there with Luka Doncic.
I hope Kendrick ain't go there, man. Kendrick, chill.
The second year in a row. But his defensive impact, and it's two sides of the ball. When you mention guys like Jared Allen, Bam out of the bio, Rudy Gobert, okay, Joel Embiid has a defensive rating better than all of those guys.
Rudy Gobert.
Nah, yeah, the way you said Rudy Gobert. Rudy Gobert.
But using defensive rating, even at an individual standpoint, to determine how impactful an individual is defensively is a horrible metric, because defensive rating is just a representation of how many points your team allows when you are on the floor. Now, yes, an individual can have significant impact on a team's defense. However, that metric is heavily based off of what your team can produce when you are on the floor with them. So technically speaking, you can have a really good to great defender on a really bad defensive team, and his defensive rating is going to be bad, not because he's a bad defender, but because the team as a whole is a bad defensive unit. A great example of this is Dorian Finney-Smith. When he played for the Dallas Mavericks, his defensive rating was actually worse than Luka's, and no one would argue that Luka's a better defender than DFS, but the reason why is because
Sound a little
he was
low.
on a bad defensive team, and on the other side of the spectrum, ironically enough, you have Jokic, whose defensive rating is on par with Joel Embiid, but the only reason why that is the case is because the Denver Nuggets have put around solid defensive pieces around Jokic. So using defensive rating to determine who's a better defender or not is insane. And no, Bam out of the Bayou, or however you pronounce it, Perk, Bam is a better defender than Joel Embiid.
Comes down to Joel Embiid and what he's been bringing to the table this season on both ends of the floor, and Philly
7 for 25 is
in the Eastern
nasty,
Conference,
though.
a few games behind the Milwaukee Bucks and the Boston Celtics right now. I don't see how anyone can't have him as the front runner for us.
27 to 19,
So I actually agree
but
with Perkins here.
7 for
There's been some
25 is
inconsistency
crazy.
over the past couple of years on determining what value is or perceived value when it comes to the MVP race. And Jokic has been the beneficiary of the inconsistent standard. Last year, he won the MVP while being the 6th seed. And throughout NBA history, one of the most consistent standards to determining who's going to receive the MVP award at the end of the year has been, where does your team rank at the standings? Where do you fall with your record? What's the seeding? That has been the most consistent. So yes, Jokic receiving it last year, definitely he benefited from the inconsistencies. Because of that, if you want to make the argument that last year Jokic should not have won the MVP, hey, I'm all ears. However, when it comes to this season, Jokic has every box that's checked off, every single last box. Great numbers, great impact, first seed out in the Western Conference. Everything is being checked off here and there. Now, if you're
That's
someone
tough.
who leans more defense, okay, fair enough. But if that's the case, Giannis would check off more boxes. Giannis has a better record. He's also putting great numbers, has great impact. The Milwaukee Bucks are on a historic winning streak right now that more than likely will continue for the next 2 to 3 games. And we'll figure out what's going to happen, because they actually do face Philly in these upcoming games. And if you want to use the defensive rating, if I'm not mistaken, Giannis has a better defensive rating than Embiid as well.
Jokic is in a weaker conference when it comes down to the West. And I know Kevin Durant just went to the Phoenix Suns, but let's be real here. When we talk about who is in a better conference, it's Joel Embiid and the Philadelphia 76ers when you talk about the level of competition.
So again, this is where you go down this slippery slope, because Perkins' whole argument is the level of inconsistency. I'm all ears for it from a winning perspective, but then here you go talking about, oh, he's in a tougher conference. Well, Giannis is in that same conference, and he has a #1 seed, and he's on a winning streak, and he plays better defense. So why isn't Giannis at your in this conversation? Secondly, Perkins,
I think, me personally, bro, I think the West is way tougher than the East. Is Memphis in the West too? You got Curry in them. You got KD in them, and that's like seven All-Stars right there. You know, you got Kyrie and Luka in them. You got Braun in them. You know, come on, bro. The West is fake. Beastie. You know, I'm gonna keep it a buck.
Argument, because literally just a few years ago, you was all on LeBron, and he was in the Western Conference, and you never brought up the competition of the conference when it comes to LeBron. Now all of a sudden, the competition, it matters now. What are you talking about, bro?
I thought I was gonna come on here, or I thought I was gonna tune in one time and actually see you say it. But since you're scared to say
Who
it,
in the East,
I'm
though?
gonna say it, okay? When
I don't
watch
know
the
in the
games,
East, bro.
I'm watching Jokic
76ers.
pass the ball, and I'm watching his guys catch and shoot.
Celtics.
No hesitation, good or
Other than
bad
that,
shot. And let
I
me
don't
tell
really
you
know. I
one
don't
thing.
be- you know what I'm saying?
It goes on, conversations goes on in that locker room, and players know what their stats are.
Joe Perkins, you are just chatting right now. You are the
What is he talking
definition
about?
of a chatter.
I was talking. That's
You are
my
just
fault.
talking out of your ass, and you have no basis in this whatsoever. Like none at all. Just because maybe you did back in the day, you was in the back checking out your stats, making sure you doesn't mean Jokic is doing it. And not to say
Nah,
it doesn't
facts.
happen, but there's no proof that Jokic is doing that whatsoever.
That's a
Furthermore, I'm
fact.
actually happy that we have these tracking numbers now, so we can actually fact check when people come on live TV and just say some bullshit. Because that's what I'm saying right now.
Yo,
You're
I-
talking out your ass, bro. Look at the numbers. Let's look at the footage. Let's actually
Yo, this
fact check.
thing is funny,
You
bro.
claim that Jokic he holds the
Yo.
ball, he's handling it, he's holding it to make sure he can pass it to somebody. Ironically enough, out of all the players who are averaging 7, 8, 9, 10 assists or more, Jokic is at the bottom on how long the time of possession that he holds the ball. He's towards the bottom. And when you lie like that, because you're lying, when you lie like that,
Now, why he putting that so hard? Why he putting that mouth so perk?
While doing the exact opposite of what everybody
Yo.
else does to normally receive these numbers, which is dominate the ball. This idea that, oh, he's passing it to players and they're just shooting difficult shots. You're lying. A, when it comes to three-point shooting, the Denver Nuggets as a whole, they're at the bottom of frequency. They don't even shoot that many threes. B,
Damn.
majority of Jokic's assists
Boy, he is cooking
come
them,
from
though.
two-pointers, not three-pointers, so you're still lying. Finally, when you actually go look at the numbers of Aaron Gordon, Michael Porter Jr., KCP, and Jamal Murray, which are the 4 biggest targets for Jokic when it comes to his assists, bro, the level of accuracy that they're shooting from, regardless if it's at 2 or 3, it's ridiculous. It's at league high rates. Unless you're arguing that even when they're just shot chucking and shooting whatever to get Jokic these assists, that they're still able to sustain 37, 38, 39, 40% from 3, that they're able to sustain 48, 49, 50+% on their 2-pointers, unless that's what you're arguing, then what you're saying doesn't actually make sense. It doesn't add up. It doesn't compute. When you look at the facts, it don't make any sense at all.
Single digit shot attempts, make that make sense to me. 25 to 30
Zooming
games.
on Stephen A. got
It was
it.
actually around 9.5, 9.8. And then all of a sudden, he started searching for them assists to get it up above 10. So don't come giving me nothing about a triple-double.
So is it true in the early stage of the season that Jokic is averaging 9.5 assists and all of a sudden he's averaging 10? Yes, that is technically speaking correct. In the beginning part of the year up until the end of December, Jokic was averaging 25 to 26 points, 11 rebounds, and 9.5 assists. And his shot attempts in particular was roughly around 15.5 per game. And since then, his points and shot attempts have gone down, while his assist numbers have gone from 9.5 to nearly 11. And also, it is true that Jokic has 8 games where he has under double-digit shot attempts. So all of those things are true. However, this is where you have to do a little bit more digging, because I know that's a little hard for you. Your mind sometimes doesn't always connect the dots. However, when we do a little bit more digging, what we realize is that half of those games that Perkins is referencing to happened in the beginning part of the season, not in the later part where you believe that he wasn't shooting enough shots and he was inflating his assist numbers. Also, in half of those games, Jokic is recording 10 or fewer assists. If he needed to inflate his assist numbers to over 10 so he can average a triple-double, he would have to record 11 or more. And then what makes it even more interesting is that some of these games are blowouts. Matter of fact, in the 2 games where he recorded 9 assists on the dot, if he was really inflating his stats, those are blowout games. He would play more minutes in those games to record just 1 or 2 or more assists so he can inflate his assist numbers. But he didn't do it. It was blowout, so he didn't play that many minutes, and he sat out for the rest of the game. But even beyond all of that, the 2 games that look really sketchy, where Jokic attempted under double-digit shot attempts, but his assist numbers were through the roof, was a game earlier on in the season against OKC, and a game that happened more recently against the Los Angeles Lakers, where he recorded 14 and 16 assists respectively. The problem, though, is that when you actually do your due diligence, instead of just talking out your side of your neck like you're doing right now,
It's a tough
watch
fast.
those games, you would realize the reason why Jokic got that many assists is because the opposing team kept doubling him over and over and over again. But for you to highlight some of these games and do it in a very disingenuous manner, when you didn't look to see when did these games actually occur, when you didn't look to see if these games were blowouts, if you didn't
That's a
look
tough
to see
pass
how
as
many
well.
assists that he recorded in some of these games.
Okay,
Mind you,
I gotta check out Jokic, some of Jokic games,
When it comes
man.
down to
He
guys
out there
winning
doing
MVP
passes like that?
since 1990, it's only
That's
3
tough.
guys that won the MVP that wasn't top 10 in scoring. Do you know who those 3 guys were?
Who are they?
Steve Nash, Jokic, and Dirk Nowitzki. Now, what do those guys have in common? I'll let it sit there and marinate. You think about it.
Okay, I'm gonna have to be serious because Perkins is making a very, very bold claim. that-
Okay, yeah, that's a fact. We gonna be
Not
serious
only
copy. All right.
But Dirk and Steve Nash won their awards partially because of their skin tone. And then brings up and just reference, I mean, this is by far the worst reference I've heard in quite some time. He references the fact that those are the only 3 players to win MVPs since 1990 who are not top 10 in scoring. That's a very disingenuous talking point because you know if you go 1 year beyond 1990, Magic Johnson was winning regular season MVPs, and he was not top 10 in scoring any of those years. So you purposely, Perkins, decided to set the parameters to fit your Ross's agenda. That's what you decided to do. B,
Okay.
Dirk was top
Okay.
10 in scoring. He was tied for 10th.
Exposing him.
The year that he won it. And last year, Jokic was also top 10 in
Oh, this
scoring.
slow.
He was tied for 10th when he won. Furthermore, and most importantly, when has points per game ever been the end-all, be-all to determining one's impact to the game? That has never been the metric, that's never been the standard to determining who should or should not win the MVP award. And I know that you know this because just last year you were pushing Chris Paul propaganda to believe that he was supposed to win the MVP over Jokic, and CP3 last season was nowhere near top 10 in points per game.
CP3 is the most valuable. He should have
Yeah.
won MVP of the league, in my opinion.
All right, now that's a whole nother debate.
What do those 3 guys have in common when they won the MVP for us? Steve Nash, Dirk Nowitzki, and Jokic.
This
That
is a
wasn't
this
top
is,
10 in
this,
scoring.
this is a crazy
We moved
take to
the
make on
goalposts
TV
so
as well.
much.
I ain't gonna lie.
Is that I
Bro gotta
agree with
chill
you
on TV.
about
You wildin',
recently
brother.
moving the goalposts, but the
Alright.
person who moved the goalposts for the most first was Russell Westbrook, not Jokic. Westbrook got the privilege to be a non-top seed in the conference or one of the better records in the NBA and still receive the MVP over other players who are clearly on better teams or better records. And we did that for him. He's the first one since the media has been voting who's received that privilege first, not Jokic. So I agree with him that yes, we have moved the goalposts over the years, but there has been black players who have benefited from it before Jokic has. Honestly, I would let this slide, but this isn't the first time that Perkins has made a comment that is completely out of bounds because you did this last year.
Okay, so one, I want to know what American superstars go take it personal and go get that.
And y'all be saying, y'all be wondering why I be saying that there's a portion of the NBA community that's xenophobic. It is crazy to me that we cannot just sit.
So let me know. I mean, I'll probably fake putting this together what it means, but just so I know for sure. You know what I'm saying? Put in the comments what that means.
Here and enjoy
Or
history. That we
it's
cannot
spelled
sit
out for me
here
as well.
and
You know,
enjoy
get my
what
knowledge
you
up.
are going on television, making up these things. These are just a lot of these things you just said were lies or heavily skewed. You have to sit here and make things up to degrade one of the greatest offensive performances that we've ever seen of our lifetime. That's disgusting. You're embarrassing. Quite frankly, you should be taking
Tearing his ass up.
It's even
Nah,
more
for real. That's what I'm saying.
vote
I ain't gonna lie, on
to
TV,
determine who is
it's
going to
crazy.
win the award. Also, I
He
went
does?
back and check it out. Shut the fuck up about defense.
Ooh, he on his ass.
You gave Devin Booker the award over
this ass,
non-association.
boy.
Even the way that you vote is inconsistent from one year to the next. Perkins should not have the ability to vote. If you believe that Embiid should win it, make that case. If you believe that someone else should win it, make that case. But don't get on national television lying about what Jokic is doing because it doesn't fit your stupid ideology, because it's stupid. That's dumb. It's dumb. It's disgusting. It's disgraceful, especially to someone who's performing at the level in which he's performing at right now. That's crazy. But yo, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I can't believe I had to make this video, but it is what it is, yo. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below.
And I'm out of here, man. I don't got too much to say about that. Perk out of line. Definitely, yo, on TV is crazy. You know, I don't know how you know what I'm saying? His boss should have called him about that one. Word. You know, if I was the boss, I'm calling. What you doing, your boy? I'm not gonna talk like that if I was a boss, though. You know what I'm saying? If I was on the business, I'll probably talk. I'm never gonna get this. I'm chatting it up. But click on the last reaction. I know what to do. Turn on post notifications. Last reaction is good for your health, though. What was that last reaction? It's on your screen, my brothers and sisters. Just click on this. Good. I'm telling you. Real shit. I'm out of it, man. Or